Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome back. We're doing an Ixalan draft tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at our first pack here. So our rare Dragon Soul Summit, we got for uncommon start a course, got the Huntmaster, Sentinel Totem. Cards I like out of this pack. It's actually a pretty weak pack. I do like Pirates, Cutlass. I like Chart a Course. Huntmaster is good if you're going to be in Dinos. Wayfinder's pretty good if you're going to be in Merfolk. But overall, just kind of a weak pack. For us here, I think we could probably take the Wayfinder, the Huntmaster, or the Cutlass. Wayfinder is good if we're going to be in Dinos. He's really, really good actually. Reduces the casting cost, gives some haste. Wayfinder is an excellent Merfolk card, and Cutlass is decent in most decks. Fantastic if you're playing Pirates, and actually it does allow us to stay open. So I think maybe we'll go ahead and just take the Cutlass here and just stay open because nothing else. I don't think we're giving up too much. Okay. So here we've got some picks here actually. So we've got the Marauding Looter, which is really good. I like that card a lot, but of course it's a double color card. We also have Territorial Hammerskull, which is a fantastic white card. That's probably going to be our pick, but the River Snake is good as well for moving into Merfolk. Pterodon Knight's fine if we're playing Dino. Storm Sculptor's okay. Again, if you're playing Merfolk, but not a card that would necessarily put you in to Merfolk. With that said, I do think I'm going to take the Hammerskull. I just really like this card. It's strong. So that'll be our pick here. Wow. Okay. This is a pack. So I wonder what the last two picks were for our opponents. River's Rebuke is just a blowout spell against your opponent. Just returning all non-land permanents to their hand is such a big game turner. Air Elemental is fantastic. 4/4 flying for 5 is really, really good. We also have Paladin of the Bloodstain, which is great if you're going to be in Black-White Vampires, or just, honestly, it's a fine 4-drop for white. Not the best, but it is fine. Anything else worth looking at here? Shaper's Apprentice, which is a decent Merfolk card. 2/1 flyer for 2. But I think we're going to take the Air Elemental. This is just a strong card. Yeah, I like Air Elemental. We'll go ahead and take that. Okay. Seeing a lot of Merfolk stuff. So here, for white, we have Slash of Talons. This is the only card I would consider taking, which I don't think I'm going to grab here. Locale Dispersal is very good if you're playing Pirates, which we have not really picked up anything to say we're going to do that. The Cutlass is good just by itself. You do not have to be playing Pirates. Seen a few Merfolk cards. I kind of want to take Revered Herald's Boon here and see if we continue to see some more of those. I don't think we're really giving anything up, but I'm going to take the Revered Herald's Boon and just see what we get in our next pack. Okay. So here we see the Archer, which I do like. 1/4 reach, it can fight a creature when it comes into play. For green, the Diviner is good as well. Decent 2-drop. The Bellowing Aegisaur I liked a lot more earlier in the format, but now not so much. It's just not as impactful. Even when it does trigger and give you guys 1/1 counters, it's just a 3/5 on turn 6. It's not fantastic. So for me here, there's really no white cards I want. The Hammerskull, we don't have to be white here. There's no blue in here that I want. The Spell Pierce is not really anything I'm too interested in. So I think I just like the Archer the best. This is a good card to kind of throw on the ground. Sometimes the fighting can be relevant. Okay, now here we're seeing... okay, so we're not seeing really any Merfolk. I do like the Snapping Sailback. Not as good as it was earlier in the format again, because people are expecting these kind of cards now. So that's worth consideration. And the Thrashing Raptors I think is good as well. But I don't really think we're going to move into red just yet. Haven't really had anything to tell me that we should. But I do like the sailback here. I think we're going to go ahead and grab that. Okay. Now here we have the Bronto. Not really interested in that card. It's a super late drop. And I think those are pretty easy to pick up. They're not highly sought after. We have Commune with Dinosaurs, which is probably going to be our pick here because I'm just not interested in the schooner right now. I don't really like these 3-drops, or excuse me, these schooners, because they are it's a 3-drop, it's a crew 1, and the toughness of it trades pretty quickly with 2 drops. So I think we're going to take the Commune, since green does seem to be pretty open here. Let's go ahead and sort this. Okay, now here we've got a few options. So we've got our air elemental. We haven't seen a lot of whites. I feel like the Hammer Skull's probably sailed on us. But we do have a Siren Lookout, and we have 1 Cutlass. So that might be worth looking at here. Just goes with our air elemental. I think I do like that. I like it better than the Shipwreck Looter. The Blossoming Dryad I'm not really interested in. I haven't been too impressed with that card. Okay, now here, the Wayfinder came back. So we can either take the Wayfinder or the New Horizons. New Horizons I like if you're really trying to ramp into something, or if you're looking to splash as well. I don't know if we're really looking to ramp so much. I like the Wayfinder. We're going to pick that up here. That's a fine 3-drop. All right. Now here the picks are nothing too crazy here. Probably just going to take the Storm Sculptor. We may actually be moving a little bit towards some Merfolk, some sort of Merfolk deck. Okay, everyone, we're trying to get back in the draft here. Don't know if something's going on with Moto here. Okay, so what did we end up getting here? We got the Storm Sculptor we clicked on. We ended up getting some black cards, a Dire Fleet Ravager, so we're in. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, everyone. So we're in pack 2 now. So it looks like we missed out on a few picks here. So let's see if we can recover from that. Here we've got a Drowned Catacomb, not interested in that. I like the Imperial Aerosaur here if we were going to be in white. For blue-green, I do like Deeproot Warrior or the Siren's Lookout. We don't have any 2-drops right now. So I do feel like I want to take the Deeproot Warrior and see if we can kind of move kind of aggressively into the Merfolk deck. It's really that, or we can hold on to the Hammer Skull and take the Aerosaur. Well, let's see if we can move into Merfolk here. Okay, so pick 2. We do have the Shaper's Apprentice, which I like. Excellent card. If you are running Merfolk, just a 2/2 or 2/1 flyer for 2 is just fine. We do have Sword Point Diplomacy here. We're not in black, but that's a decent card. I think people undervalue it. Colossal Dreadmaw is okay, but probably nothing we're looking at for this deck, so we'll go ahead and take the Shaper's Apprentice. Okay, now here for us we have Charter Course is okay. That's really kind of the only pick we have. We're not really black or red. That's kind of all the good cards here. The Dire Fleet Captain is very good. I like the Headstrong Brute. If you're playing Pirates, this is just such a beast right here. Bloodletter is fantastic if you're in Pirates or just playing black, but we'll take Charter Course. That's okay for our deck, since we're looking to be a little more aggressive. Here we have a couple of picks. We can do the Wayfinder, which is a fine 3-drop. Be our second pickup for there. Navigator's Ruin, I'm not so keen on. We also have the Dreadnought here, which is a fine sink for late game. But I think we're just going to take the Wayfinder, get another good 3-drop here. Okay, and now it looks like we are getting pretty cut and blue, and nothing in green for us. But the Shadowed Caravel is actually fine. We've got a couple of Explorer creatures. We certainly need a few more before it is really playable in the deck, but we'll go ahead and take it. There's really nothing else here for us at this time. Another Commune, Shaper's Apprentice, and Watertrap Weaver. I really like Shaper's Apprentice because, again, this is an aggressive card, and in the Merfolk deck, it really lets you get pretty aggressive, and I think 2-drops are very important. Also really like Watertrap Weaver. This card is very good as well. For us, I really want to sure up our 2-drops, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Apprentice and hope that we'll get something back from that pack. Probably not, though. Okay, here, River Sneak. This is a decent Merfolk card. We're definitely going to take that over the Exili's Keeper. We don't need any cards like Unknown Shores, and the Dread Maul is not really the kind of game plan we're looking to be on, so go ahead and take the River Sneak. Another Commune with Dinosaurs here. We really just have the one Dino, so I don't see any point in taking that. We could take Spell Pierce for the board. Here we'll just take New Horizons. Yeah. Nothing for us here really. We can take Blinding Fog. Sentries might make the deck. It is a Merfolk. Really upset that we missed a couple picks there. I think we could certainly be a little farther down the path for our deck here. We're going to take out the Commune. We're not going to be playing that. And the Caravels probably on the cutting block here. Okay, just waiting on our, there we go. All right, let's see if we can pick up something. Okay, so we got Ivana, and nothing that we can play, really, for this deck, being a black-white. I haven't played against this card. I imagine that it is decent, though. A 4/4 Vigilance Lifelink for 5 is fine. And there may be times when paying the 7 life is gonna win you a game. Vanguard is very good. I like this card a lot. River Sneak is decent for our deck. Kind of feel like maybe we want to go ahead and get the Diviner. Sort of like that card. Maybe more than the River Sneak. I don't know how many River Sneaks I really want in the deck since we haven't picked up any pump spells yet. Or there's the Siren's Lookout. I think we'll take the Siren's Lookout. We've got a few 2-drops. Lookout is just going to go over. It's one more card to add to the Caravel as well. Wow, Contempt. That's very nice. Okay, for us, we've got Watertrap Weaver, which I like a lot. Savage Stomp, I don't really like in the Merfolk decks. It's really hard to get any value out of this. Usually, you're going to end up trading your creature with the card you're fighting. Watertrap Weaver is great. I like this card. Helps us get through on the ground. Wow, another Air Elemental. Okay, and another Watertrap Weaver. So blue's been pretty open. We're definitely gonna take the Air Elemental here. This is really kind of giving us a lot for late game. So that's an easy pick for us. And here we've got Charter Course, Pirate's Prize. But I think we're gonna take the Run Aground here. We really don't have any removal as it stands with this deck. So we're gonna take Run Aground and just get some sort of interaction here with our opponent's creatures. Right here we have Slice and Twain, Crash the Ramparts, New Horizons. We could take Slice and Twain for the board, but again we don't have a lot of removal or anything. I'm gonna take Crash the Ramparts just so we can have some sort of interactions with our opponent's creatures other than just trading. So this is shaping up. This is pretty decent. Got a Windstrider. Don't think I want a Verdant Rebirth. Don't have a lot to, well, we do have some Explore, but I think we're just going to take the Windstrider here. That just seems to be a little bit better than that card. So what do we have for the Caravel? We have, oh, let's see what our picks are here. So we have Whiptail, which I actually do like Whiptail. I don't think I want another Windstrider, especially since we have 2 air elementals. Ravenous Daggertooth, we're not really looking at. We've got a lot of good 3-drops, but the Whiptail I like. This is a decent body. It does have reach, helps kind of slow down any flyers from our opponent. So it's either that or actually maybe the Depth of Desires. Again, we don't have a lot of interaction with our opponent. Let's see here. Maybe we want the depths. I like the Whiptail better. I think this card's just very good. Okay, here. Not really going to play any of these cards. Well, we've got a lot of 5-drops, which are better than the Ceratops. Shorekeeper. I guess we could see some argument for this card. Maybe games that are going long. Again, I'm not interested in the Blossoming Dryad. There's nothing towards ramping. Nothing ramping towards. We'll just take the Shorekeeper. Let's take an Opt. Nothing really here. Okay. We'll take another Storm Sculptor. That's fine. Well, if we wanted to ramp into anything, we certainly have the options to do that. Okay, so not exactly the perfect Merfolk deck we were looking for. We do have some dinos, but I'm really happy with getting 2 air elementals for late game. Those are very strong. I really like those cards. The Caravel, let's see if we're going to be able to play that. For Explorer, we have, let's see, we have Siren's Lookout, Wayfinder, Siren's Lookout. So we have 4 Explorer cards. I think this card's probably not going to be good enough for the deck. Just 4 Explorer cards. Best case scenario, this is 2 for a 3/3, and it is a crew 2. I'm not in love with this card. I mean, we do have the Storm Sculptor, so I guess we could kind of get into a scenario where we're balancing our creatures and replaying them, but this is underwhelming, especially since we have several Shaper's Apprentices. So we're going to cut that. What else in the deck we're not in love with? I'm not attached to this Windstrider, even though it is a Merfolk. New Horizons. Definitely don't need New Horizons. So do we want to cut Windstrider? I do like the Pirate's Cutlass in this deck, just because if your opponent kind of outtempos you or hits some defensive creatures, the Cutlass does let you get your smaller guys through that. So I guess it's either, do we want 2 Storm Sculptors and no Windstrider? We also could cut the Sentries. So it does have to be one of these 3 cards. The Sentries I really don't care for. They're not doing too much for this deck. So I think we'll just cut the Sentries. The upside with the Sculptor is it does let us buy back some of our Explore guys, or the cards like Water Trap Weaver. It's really the only one that you're going to get any value out of. It's the Water Trap Weaver. And then the Windstrider, this is it's a flyer. It looks like we've got pretty decent late game here. We just be a little aggressive in the beginning with our Merfolk, our Explore cards, and then we have Air Elemental to kind of finish the game. Don't have a lot of combat tricks, which I'm not exceptionally happy about. Wish we did have more. That's probably going to be what we're going to struggle with, but this seems to be our deck. Let's go ahead and add some lands. I think we'll do probably do nine islands. Hello again, everyone. Looks like we're still having some troubles with Magic Online. It crashed on me again there. So as I was saying, we're going to go ahead and do 9 islands, 8 forests. We just have a lot more blue here. I know we do have a double green card, but we're playing a lot more blue spells than green spells. So and with 2 air elementals, we want to make sure we always have access to that blue mana. So we got our deck saved. Let's go ahead and start our first round. If we get any more troubles, we may just call up for the night and try to pick up at a later time when we're not having all these issues. But here we go. Let's go ahead and play our first round, and we'll see you back in a minute. Alright, welcome back everyone. We're in our first match here. Our opponent, looks like our opponent won the die roll. They are keeping their 7. We're going to keep ours. We've got a 2-drop into a 3-drop. Air Elemental in hand. Got all the lands we need. And this is just fine. We're going to keep this. Got a Pirate's Cutlass. Okay. So our opponent's playing black-red. Are they playing pirates, maybe? Alright. Going to play the Apprentice. Got Runaround, which is good, one of our few interactive spells. Alright, what does our opponent have this turn? Okay. They are playing pirates. Headstrong Brute. Okay. It's a very good card. I do like the Brute. Right here. So they cannot block. Of course, we're going to send the Apprentice in. And then we're going to play the Wayfinder here. Hopefully we don't hit a land. I do prefer to get a counter on this guy. Excellent. Whiptail, I think we're pretty set for mana, so I'm just going to leave this on top. It's a good defensive creature, especially against the Brute. That's assuming our opponent doesn't play any more pirate spells. But considering they didn't play a 2 or a 2-drop or any other 3-drops, we're not going to trade here. We'll take the damage. This is Emerald Beckett Brass. Running Looter. Okay, they confused me with their mana for a second there. Okay, so they're going to get to loot. Very strong. Our opponent discarded an island. Okay, so of course we're drawing the Whiptail. So here we can run aground and put this on top of their deck, but I'm actually fine if they want to trade with the Wayfinder. They're not going to. I would value my looter much higher than trading with a Wayfinder. So I'm assuming they're going to take the 5. Okay, so I think here we're going to go ahead and play the Whiptail. And then we're going to play Air Elemental next turn. And then we'll have Pirate's Cutlass to beef our smaller guys, and we'll have Run Aground to go ahead and bounce the looter if we need to, or anything bigger they play that's a problem. Okay, their Brute does have Menace now, so he's going to get in for 7. It's going to put us to 10. So I guess the question is, do we want to go ahead and block the looter? I do want to block the looter here. That trigger, that raid trigger, is going to keep being an issue. See if they have any combat tricks. They may have Skullduggery, Black-Red. There's a lot of different options for. Yeah, okay, so they're going to 2-for-1 us here. Okay, well. What have we got? And Stormfleet, yeah, that's good. Okay, they're going to get to draw a card, they're going to get to raid. Really filtering through their deck pretty quick here. Alright, so what do we want to do? Do we want to send the Wayfinder in? We can send the Wayfinder in, they're going to take 3, go to 10. We can play Air Elemental, which will be here to block the Stormfleet. They're going to swing for 7, we'll go to 7. And then we will not be in a position to strike a killing blow, but we'll have Run Aground the following turn. So the question is, what kind of removal does our opponent have in their hand? They do still have 4 cards. Yeah, we're not going to send the Merfolk in. We're going to to hold back the Wayfinder. And we're just going to go ahead and block the looter if they send that in again. I think this game can get away from us pretty quickly if we get too aggressive. And our opponent's got good creatures here. If we can come up the ground a little bit and stick a Pirate's Cutlass on the air elemental, I think we're in a pretty good position to finish this game. Again, our opponent's in black-red. There's just so much removal, so many options for removal. If our opponent attacks with everything, I don't know that we're going to block with the air elemental. We're definitely not blocking the brute. The looter, I think I'll offer the trade with the Wayfinder. Even if our opponent has a combat trick, that's just something we're going to have to do this turn. Or we can hold back and take 9, go to 5, so we'll have running around to play with the following turn. I just don't think we can take that much damage. Okay. Okay. So our opponent's just getting very aggressive, not even giving us the option to block. So this game is slipping away from us here. We get a lot of removal. So what are our options? Well, we can play River Sneak, which doesn't really do much of anything, but there's really nothing else we can do except for hold up, run aground, see if our opponent attacks, and we can get a little value out of that. At this point, we really need to draw some bigger creatures than River Sneak here to get back in this game. That's not going to do it. Alright, so our opponent also has Ingress Marauders. They've discarded. It's a pretty high casting spell there. Of course, they're not too far away from actually casting it, but they've got Skullduggery, Unfriendly Fire so far for removal. A lot of draw and looting effects here. Okay, across those pirates, just coming up the ground. Okay, our opponent's just attacking with the brute. I don't like the idea of trading with the brute right now, so we could run around it and set our opponent back for a turn. I think that's really the only play we have right now, so let's just run around it. See if we can just buy ourselves a little extra time. Okay, and they're going to get to loot, they get to get through that pirate again. Okay. So we got the Shaper's Apprentice. Go ahead and play this. Okay. It's a shame this guy isn't a pirate. So we'll go ahead and send the sneak in. Go ahead and get our 2 damage. Don't think we're in a position where we could have not played the Apprentice and then played the Cutlass, equipped it to the sneak. We really just need blockers here. At this point, we can at least trade the Shaper with the Stormfleet and the Wayfarer with the Looter. And what did our opponent discard last turn? They discarded a Mountain. So we're going to play the Fiery Cannonade. Okay, well, there's really not much we can do at this point. Our opponent's going to just kind of overwhelm us now. They're going to keep getting the loot triggers. They've wiped us out with the cannonade. Yeah, they'll send everybody in. I'm not going to trade the Wayfinder for the Storm Fleet, so we're going to go ahead and take 5. We're going to take 8, so our opponent has Sure Strike. We are at 3. I don't think there's anything we can draw at this point that's going to get us back in the game. Oh, what did our opponent play? Lightning Strike. Wow. Our opponent has a very good deck. Lightning Strike, Sure Strike, Fiery Cannonade, Unfriendly Fire, Skullduggery. A lot of good creatures here. Okay. So, what have we got against our opponents? I don't like River Sneak against them. They're playing Skullduggery. And, not a huge fan of that. Spell Pierce might actually be worth playing. Opponent has a lot of removal spells. Headwater Sentries, I think I might consider. It does have a big body. Come here. Other than that, I think those are the cards I would consider putting in. River Sneak, I really don't like against our opponent. I think we'll play the Sentries, we'll play the Spell Pierce. What do we want to take out? What's a little weaker? Maybe a Storm Sculptor. We'll take one of these out with Cannonade. It's definitely weaker. Unfortunately, most of our deck is kind of vulnerable to the Cannonade, especially our Explorer creatures if they don't hit a non-land card with the Explorer trigger. But that's what we're going to put in. Spell Pierce I think will be decent. We did see a lot of non-creature spells. I'm just putting in something to put in the Headwater Sentries, just something with a little more body since they have a lot of 3 and 4 power creatures. So this will be our deck for the remainder of this game. Yes, we'll be on the play. Okay, here we have Siren Lookout, Water Trap Weaver. We have our lands, Windstrider. No 2-drop, which isn't great, but I think it's still worth keeping. The Siren's Lookout is a fine 3-drop, and we may draw a 2-drop. Okay. See what our opponent has. Very aggressive card. Wanted Scoundrels. Okay. As that is the case, we're going to play the Weaver. Just tap that down. Try to slow our opponent down a little bit. And see if we can draw something that can trade with it or some sort of interaction. Okay, nothing from our opponent. So here, we're definitely going to send the 2 in. We're not chumping the Scoundrels. And then we'll play the Lookout. See if we can hit a non-land card. Spell Pierce. Well, it does lose some of its value when you reveal it. So I think we're just going to throw this into the graveyard. Really not, it really has no value at all when your opponent knows you have it. Okay, so our opponent's going to send 4 in with the Scoundrels. We are not chumping that. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Have the Looter again. Okay, got a decent Explore card. See if they hit a land. Okay, good. They got a Swamp. That's good for us. Okay, here, I think we're going to send both. I don't mind taking the scoundrels one more time. And then we'll have the air elemental. So we're going to send the lookout. Yeah, we're going to send both. Okay. See if our opponent can deal with the air elemental. The odds are good. They do have a lot of good removal in their deck, a lot of good interaction. Okay. Well, I do always like when our opponent takes a moment to think about their cards. Unless they play contract killing. Prosperous Pirates, okay. So we're off the ground plan at this point. And our opponent has ramped. We know they do have the Marauders, which is now online. And for here, keep in mind they do have the treasure tokens. Skullduggery kills our elemental, so we're just going to go ahead and take the 6. We're not blocking. We're going to go to 10. Air elemental is our win condition. Okay, here we're definitely going to hold back the Water Trap Weaver. I do want to send the air elemental and the Siren Lookout. I think we can hold back with the Snapping Sailback and try to surprise Prosperous Pirates. Or the Dire Fleet. Or we may just hold back for run aground. Either way, we're definitely swinging with our 2 flyers. That puts our opponent to 8. Yeah, the play here is either going to be, it's going to be one of our flash creatures or run aground. Now, to be careful, we know our opponent has a couple of red spells that do direct damage to a player. So that's certainly something to keep in mind. Don't want to go too low on life. I definitely don't want to go below 4 life since they're playing Lightning Strike. Really don't want to go below 5 life. So here, if our opponent didn't have so much removal, I would love to, chump the 4/3, play Windstrider into turn, and try to swing for the win. But I know that their deck has a lot of removal, so that's just not going to be an option. We're probably going to end up playing the Sailback and trying to, probably trying to block the Prosperous Pirates, or maybe we'll block the Dire Fleet. That way, if they do have Skullduggery, at least we get the trade with the Dire Fleet. It's probably the play we're going to make, although that does put us at 3 life. We also could just bounce one of their creatures. Let's see what they're sending in. Everything? Okay. So do we want to bounce one of their creatures? We could block the Scoundrels. And chump the Pirates. And at least the Pirates, they'll have to pay 5 mana for it. Of course, they get 2 back, and that still leaves them with 5 mana. I still think I like that better than bouncing the Scoundrels. So let's just try to play the Sailback. We're going to do this before blockers. Or excuse me, we're going to do this instead of doing run aground after blockers. I really didn't want to get blown out by any direct damage, so we're just going to block as much as we can here. So our opponent is playing a spell. Skullduggery. Okay, so what they're doing that before blockers. So it's possible they have Lightning Strike and the 4 damage spell. Ah, okay. No, they didn't have Lightning Strike. Yeah, our opponent's deck is very good. Oh my goodness. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and block the Scoundrels and just absorb as much damage as possible. We're going to go to 4. And our opponent may have, yeah, it looks like they have the 4 damage spell. Okay, so our opponent had exactly what we thought they were going to have. Yeah, so there's no way around that really. I guess we could have run around the Prosperous Pirates, but even if that's the case, our opponent would have had enough mana to go ahead and play the Unfriendly Fire and the Lightning Strike and the Skullduggery. So no matter what, they were going to get the Menace creature through, doing 3 damage and the other 7 for direct damage. So there's really no plays we were going to make there that wasn't going to result in the same defeat. So there you go. We will see you guys in the next round. See if we can do a little bit better. Our opponent had a very, very good deck, very aggressive, lots of good removal. But we'll see how we do in the next round. Hello everyone, welcome back. We are here for game 2. Looks like we've won the die roll. We will be on the play. Okay, and yeah, this is a keep. We've got a solid 2-drop. River Sneak's not our best card in our deck, but we do have a solid 2-drop. Whiptail's great, we got all our mana. We'll definitely be keeping. Be great to draw a 3-drop here. The Wayfinder would be certainly a good drop. Or we can get some more land. Okay, our opponent's playing blue. Let's see if they're in Merfolk. Okay, getting a little flooded here. Alright. Okay, looks like our opponents kept a 2-lander and missing their land drops. So if we can hit a little action, probably just take this game pretty easy. Not the best way to win, but oh. But sometimes that happens. Okay, yeah. Well, that's a bummer for our opponent, but that's okay. So we really didn't see anything from our opponent's deck. They're playing blue, but we have really no idea if they're playing Merfolk or Blue Flyers or Pirates or what their other color is, if they're even playing another color. So we'll just send this back as is. Just really no reason at all to sideboard. Okay, everyone, looks like we just got booted out of Magic Online, just trying to get loaded back in here. We submitted our sideboard. Hopefully we don't have the clock ticking too long. There we are. Okay, so our opponent kept theirs. We've got Deeproot Warrior, solid 2-drop. Got the Archer, Wayfinder. This is a fine keep. Plus we are on the draw, so that's a good keep there. Okay. Alright, so our opponent is playing blue-green, so they may just be in merfolk as well. Go ahead and get our deep root out again. And we'll be able to go Wayfinder this turn, unless they play... Okay, well, playing their own archer here. Just a big blocker. Okay, air elemental, that's a good draw. I don't think there's really any reason to attack and crash the ramparts. We're just going to go ahead and play the Wayfinder. Okay, we hit a land. So we'll send it back to our opponent. Really no reason to feign an attack here. Okay. Here, I think we are going to go ahead and attack. There's really no reason not to. We have crashed the ramparts up if they have any shenanigans, but... Okay, they have crashed the ramparts. So I guess the question is here, do we want to play Crash Ramparts and save our guy? Or do we want to just play the Whiptail and then follow it up with Air Elemental? If we play Crash the Ramparts, here we do stick a little bit of damage, so they clear out their ground. We clear out their ground blocker, and it starts letting us get these smaller guys through, and it doesn't seem like they're drawing any action. So we really just miss playing the Whiptail. Yeah, I think we'll just play the Ramparts. We don't have anything that's getting through this creature. It's just going to continue to block. So that's going to put their guy at... Oh, actually, no. It's not going to matter. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and let this resolve here. Forget this guy does have 4 toughness. Okay, so they're going to get to eat our deep root. They're going to take 2. And we'll play the Whiptail. Which is still fine. We'll have the Air Elemental. And if they do have any good blockers, we'll have the Crasher Ramparts for the Air Elemental. That really is one of our kind of main win conditions in this deck. Okay, so let's go ahead and attack, see if our opponent has any other combat tricks. Still not exactly sure what they're playing. Okay, well, we're just going to play Air Elemental. Alright, wonderful. That will be our plan for the rest of the match. Oh, our opponent does have a spell, it looks like. Okay. That'll do it. Okay, they're going to make their archer a little bigger, and that does stop us on the ground now. Definitely going to play the Air Elemental again. And we're just going to hold up for next turn, go ahead and send the Air Elemental and the Whiptail. What did our opponent just cast? Cast Pounce. Okay. Not a very strong card with the Archer, but it did get the job done. Okay, so now we have Run Aground, so we could send the Archer back to their hand. I kind of like just attacking and go ahead and try to State Crash the Ramparts, which is what I think we'll go ahead and do. And then we can run around any blockers the following turn. Okay. So now we represent 7 power on the board next turn. We could play the Archer here. I don't really think that does anything too impactful on the board. Just hold it, just in case there is some merit to getting the fight command on their turn. If they play any 1 toughness blockers, we can clear those out. And we'll have Run Aground as well. Okay, looks like they were just hitting a lot of lands. Still not really sure what our opponent was playing, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So we will see everyone in the final round. Okay everyone, welcome back. We are in our final round, round 3 of our Ixalan draft. Won the die roll, so we will definitely be on the play. And no 2-drops here, but we do have a Wayfinder, an Archer, a Run Aground. We have enough mana sources to cast most of our cards in our deck. We'll go ahead and keep this. Have one of our two interaction spells here, so kind of hold on to those when we get them. Okay, getting a little bit more mana. That is fine. We don't need any more land unless we draw the Whiptail. Okay, our opponent is playing black, red, black blue, black white. Okay. So here we could play the Apprentice. The next turn will represent having a flyer. I'd rather just play the Wayfinder, just maximize our mana. Plus, if there's any lands on top of the deck, we can get those out of the way now. Snapping Sailback. Well, I think we'll just keep this on top of the library. We can cast it. And that's a fine card. It's not as much a surprise now, of course, with our opponent, having it revealed, but still a 4/4 with flash, which is nice. Okay, so our opponent is playing black-red. Okay, they are doing pirates. Goblin Rig Crew is definitely a card that's a bit of a challenge when your opponent has a lot of pirates in their deck. This really gums up the ground, does a lot of damage. Okay, so here, again, we could play the Shaper Apprentice or the Archer. Archer really doesn't do anything right now. I'd rather just play the Apprentice, so we can go ahead and start getting some damage through. And then next turn we'll have the Sailback, which doesn't get through the Rigger, or the Rig Runner, Rig Crew, excuse me. But at least it does allow us to start attacking with our 3/3 and end it as well. So we'll just send this back to our opponent. Really no sense in sending an attack in this turn. Don't like playing against black-red, typically, because it's just got so much removal, so many different removal spells. To think about while your opponents are playing. Okay, our opponent is attacking with the Lightning Rig, so I I guess the question is, are they just trying to get raid? Or do they have Sure Strike? Well, if they're trying to get raid, they're going to get raid regardless at this point. I'm going to assume they have a Sure Strike in hand. We're not going to block this. Okay, so they were trying to get raid. I still suspect that they had a Sure Strike in their hand. That attack really makes no sense otherwise. Okay, so now we're going to have to discard a card. We discard our island. That seems terrible since we can finally cast the sailback on this turn and actually potentially start getting some attacking in. The archer doesn't seem like it's going to be doing anything this game. Its power is just not going to take care of any of these guys. Its fight mechanic is not doing anything right now, so we're just going to go ahead and discard that. Running around I want to keep for later, just in case our opponent plays something big or if they start putting down enchantments or anything on their other creatures. So we'll just discard the archer for now. Okay, and we get air elemental. It's fantastic. So we'll go ahead and send the Shaper across. So do we want to go ahead and play the air elemental and see if we're going to run that into any combat tricks, or excuse me, any removal spells? Just kind of worry about them dropping a land and having contract killing. I already know we have the sailback. But I think we just want to play the air elemental. We can get really aggressive here, start setting 6 in each turn. If they have combat, if they have removal spells, just so be it then. We have no reason not to play this card. Okay. Slowly chipping away. Alright, well, our opponent didn't immediately tap out and cast Contract Killing, so that is that's good for us. Or maybe they're just thinking it over. We'll see. Okay. So our opponent definitely has Sure Strike. There's no way they don't. We're going to take the 2 here. Absolutely no problem there. I'm going to play another Deadeye Navigator. Starfleet Captain. Okay. Yeah, so they're all in on the pirates. I do like the pirate decks. I just like black-red in general. Just so much good removal. So this captain, as it stands, could be a 4/4 if they attack with the lightning rig. But they don't have anything that they can really do against our flyers right now. They may have Vanquish the Weak to take out the apprentice of castaways. Okay. So our Wayfinder's not getting through. We'll probably offer a trade with it if they send anything in worth trading with. Okay, I'm going to get a forest. I'm going to go ahead and hold this forest just in case our opponent has any more of the tormentors. We'll go ahead and send in our flying creatures. Get our 6 in. We do have our opponent on a 3-turn clock at this point. And with the sailback, we have Not so much a surprise anymore, but we do have a blocker. So go ahead and send it back, hold up sail back, run aground. Okay. Let's see what our opponent's going to attack with. Alright, so their Darfleet Captain's going to be a 3-3. So I think what we're going to do this turn is just offer the trade with the Wayfinder against the Captain. If they have a sure strike, I'd like to just get it out of their hand. Let's see if they have what I've been assuming the whole game they have. Ah, they have Skullduggery. Okay. Well, they're going to kill our Shaper. So here we could run aground their Captain to save the Wayfinder. Or we could play the Sailback. If we run around the Captain, they're just going to replay it. We're kind of not really getting any advantage there, other than keeping the Wayfinder. I think we're just going to play, we'll just let this resolve. I'd rather just get the Sailback in play. Be great to draw another Air Elemental. Yeah, there's the sure strike. Okay, so that's going to put us down to 9. Okay. Go ahead and play the Sailback. So it's good that we didn't play this to block. It would have got blown out with Skullduggery and Sure Strike. There's no way around that. So I would rather have the Sailback than the Wayfinder. Okay, so here we got. So we're definitely gonna play our Forest so that we can play Deeproot Warrior and run aground. There's no sense in attacking with the Sailback. We're just gonna send the Air Elemental in, get our 4, have our opponent on a 3-turn clock instead of what would have been a 2-turn clock, but. Again, black just has so much good removal. Black-red has so much good removal. Okay, we'll play the Deeproot Warrior. Have another ground blocker here. And who knows, if our opponent wants to go all in with the attacks, maybe they actually make a treasure token. We can always bounce the Lightning Rig during their end step to try to get a little more damage in. Because really all we need to stick is the Air Elemental and the Sailback. Okay, let's see what our opponent's decided to do this turn. Okay. So they obviously still have combat tricks. We're definitely going to block these creatures. Of the Sailback, block the Captain, offer the trade here with the Deeproot Warrior. Let's see what they have. Sure Strike. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and run around that guy. So our opponent has a lot of interactions in their deck. Okay, looks like we've having some more issues with Magic Online. Give it a second here. Alright everyone, we're back here. Having a little bit of trouble with Magic Online again. Not a big shocker there. I'm going to go ahead and resolve this turn. Lost a minute or two. Had to log out and log back in. Okay, so we should be trading here. Okay. See what else our opponent has this turn. Okay, so we're going to send the air elemental in again. We still have our 2-turn clock. Can't think of any spells they can get us with here. Although there's just a lot of spells. Like Contract Killing, Walk the Plank. Plenty of good red spells they can use to take out our air elemental. Let's see if they have any of those answers on this turn. Okay, they did not. Alright, I'll move to sideboarding. Okay, so our opponent is black-red. They're playing pirates. They're going to have some fast aggressive creatures, and they've got good removal and interactions. Spell Pierce might be okay. Maybe. Anything else that might be alright here? I don't really like the River Snake. I think we're going to take out the River Snake. So I guess the question is, do we want to put in something like Pirate's Prize just to get a little more draw? Or do we want to put something in like Headwater Sentries, which actually is decent in that it has the ability to kind of gum up the ground a little bit until we can stick our flyers. Yeah, maybe we'll just put that in. Is that our Pirate's Prize? I think their deck's looks to be pretty aggressive with a lot of cheap removal, so we'll probably just put in the Sentries just so we have some blockers that can stick around. Anything else worth cutting here? No, I think that's okay. We'll go ahead and send this. This hand is fine. Again, we don't have a 2-drop, but we have the Archer, which is a fine. We'll go ahead and keep this. Which is fine. You know, it's going to gum up the ground. If they play any 1 toughness guys, it'll take care of that. And the Lookout's going to go above in the air, which is what we're probably going to need to really get our opponent here. Wily Goblin, okay. Not a big fan of this card unless you're really trying to ramp towards something. Here, I think we're just going to play Chart Course. We already have all of our mana. I know we're going to have to discard, but we're not doing anything else this turn. And the following turns, we're going to be playing creatures. And we drew a couple of lands, so I think that was definitely the play. So what are we, 3 and 3? I think we'll just go ahead and discard a forest here. Yeah, that's good. So hopefully we won't be drawing any more land. Opponent's going to get in for 1. Let's see if they are ramping towards anything, or if they're just stuck without black mana. And that might actually be pretty beneficial. Nope. Okay. Tormentor. Alright. Here we're definitely just going to discard an island. And we are just on the land draw city. We could play the Archer. That's going to let us get rid of the Goblin and then block the Deadeye Tormentor, but I just want to start getting aggressive against them since they're going to keep playing these pirates. They're going to have this discarding. They've got good removal. I just want to go ahead and get as aggressive as possible. There's no way we have any more land. Oh my goodness. Alright, all of the lands. Well, nothing you can do about that. We may just leave the Goblin around. At some point, maybe the Sailback will get to eat it. Although I highly doubt that. Okay, so our opponent definitely has Skullduggery. We'll just go ahead and take this damage. Gonna play their captain. Nope. Okay. So here, I think we are just going to go ahead and play the archer. We can go ahead and eat the goblin, or if they really want to keep the goblin around, they can play Skullduggery. I don't think that's the case. We wouldn't get our attack in first, since we're really not going to be blocking with this guy. Actually, change of plans here. I think we're going to go ahead and play the Wayfinder. Our opponent doesn't have anything too big on the ground. I'm not too worried about taking a little bit of damage from these guys one more turn. And if we're going to hit any more lands, I'd like to get them out of the way now. Deep-Root Warrior. I don't think that's anything I want right now. I'd rather get to our air elementals or other flying creatures at this point. Well, our opponent's hitting a lot of land too. Although I guess we've hit 9 lands. Okay, so our opponent is running Contract Killing, as suspected, more common removal for black-red. And they will have treasure tokens for the castaways if they draw those. Again, I'd rather get rid of Contract Killing on our 3-drop instead of having them take out our Sailback or something of that nature. Here we could play the archer. I would rather just go ahead and hold back for the Sailback. Go ahead and block the goblin if they want to send that in. It's going to be super obvious for our opponent. They already know we have the card. Basically telegraphing Sailback here, but that's fine. The archer is just not the play I want to make this turn. It's not affecting our board greatly. I can guarantee it's just going to get rid of the goblin, and they're going to sure strike the tormentor. Okay, so our opponent has Skullduggery and Sure Strike. So I guess the question is, do we want to try to block with the Sailback now? I don't think so. I think the odds are just too great. It's just going to get blown out with a combat trick. Okay, I got the captain. Go ahead and play the Sailback. Okay, so we have some options here. We can send the Sailback to try to start getting some damage in. We do actually have the Archer and Crash the Ramparts, which kind of gives us the ability to fight something a little bit bigger, but there's nothing big on the board right now. If they had a 4-power creature, that would be pretty good actually. So I think I want to go ahead and attack with both. And then we're probably going to play the Archer, fight the Goblin, and then hold back Crash the Ramparts to block one of these guys when they play something like Sure Strike. Yeah, and if they want to block the Dire Fleet and Sure Strike it, we'll go ahead and crash the Sailback now. I would assume they're just going to take this damage. Yeah. Okay, so we'll play the Archer. Go ahead and fight the goblin. Okay, so we also could just go ahead and play the Wayfinder here. That just seems better. I think we'll do that. Represent a second blocker. And draw some more land. Okay. Well, that's good. That means there's the odds of us drawing non-land spells or non-land cards are pretty high right now for the rest of the match. Let's see what our opponent has. And they may have nothing. They may just have a land full of hand. Or a handful of land. Just kind of operating under the assumption they're going to get us with some of these spells we saw in the first game. But our board state's pretty good right now. Okay, our opponent is deciding what to do. Haven't seen Unfriendly Fire. That's one I definitely always look for in red. It's a common card. It's pretty easy to pick a copy up during the draft. Okay, so I don't think our opponent has any combat tricks. Some more land, my goodness. Here we're going to, definitely going to send the sailback, the lookout. The archer's not attacking. Do we want to send the Wayfinder? They may still have combat tricks and just have wanted to be more defensive this turn. I think we'll go ahead and send the Wayfinder. Offer a trade there. We have Crash the Rampart, so we'll just see how our opponent blocks. Okay, our opponent has gone to 6. Okay, well, let's see what they have here. Maybe they have a lot of removal in hand. Could have some lightning strikes, Unfriendly Fire, and just be looking to go for an alpha blow here. Okay, that's a thing. Okay, so how do we want to block here? We can block the captain. Our opponent's going to have 4, 5, 6 coming at us. We know they have Sure Strike, and we know they have Skullduggery. That combination of cards, we would lose the game. Whereas on our turn, we are going to win the game as it stands, unless they play some more blockers, especially with Crash the Rampart. I think I want to operate under the assumption they do have Sure Strike and they do have Skullduggery, which is why they took the attack on the previous turn just to go for the Alpha Strike here. So I'm going to go ahead and block the Sailback. That'll hopefully leave us at 1 life, even if they do have that combination of cards. Kind of feel like that's the way we're going to lose this game. And they may just have some burn, and this was over regardless of how we blocked. But there you go. That is our Ixalan draft. We went 2-0. The deck, I was hoping to kind of move into blue-green merfolk. Didn't really get there with it. Kind of a mishmash of a couple merfolk, some decent flyers, not a lot of removal or interaction, which is where we kind of suffered. But you really can't complain when you have 2 air elementals. Hope everyone enjoyed watching the draft. Appreciate everyone that tunes in. If you have any comments or anything, if you want to talk about some of the plays or some of the picks, I always love sort of talking about that with people. If you did enjoy the video, hit the like button for me. Let me know you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos, I try to make videos every single day, so hit that subscribe button so you can get updates for the channel, and we will see you in our next draft.